We'll do it live.
All right, are we doing it, boys? Are we live? I have to take Vactor's word for it if we're actually live.
We are live.
All right, welcome to level 75 of the Sandbox Gamers podcast, a podcast where three vidgets meet weekly to talk about life, love, and the pursuit of vidya. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your co-host with the most, Wonder Rob, coming at you live on YouTube Live, but semi-live for everybody else listening after the fact on this fine Sunday morning in Southern California. And on the line with me are two of my best Arizona friends in the metaverse, the Desmond Miles of our Vactor.
I got two of them this morning, boys. The first one is parkour, parkour, parkour. And then the second one is, I'll see you in another life, brother.
Ah, yes, yes, both from Lost. Those are two Lost references.
Non-Assassin's Creed ones. All right.
No. When Desmond was jumping all over the island yelling parkour.
Yeah.
True fan would remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Jed.
And the speaking of, you heard his voice, the Basim Ibn Ishaq of our pod. I probably said that wrong.
Perfect.
The always angry JeffW the second.
Yeah, Vactor posted this name in there. He doesn't know shit about who he posted on the name, so
I know
don't
who
feel
he
too bad
is.
about not being able to pronounce it, Rob.
That is the protagonist of Assassin's Creed Mirage. We know Jeff hasn't played, so he wouldn't know that character.
And I'm Ivor. You know, from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, everybody, the game I definitely played. I'm that guy. I'm in the Anubis.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called.
Anubis.
I'm completely knowledgeable in Assassin's Creed. So you came to the right place, Assassin's Creed listeners. Thank you for joining us. If it's your if this is your first time listening to us, don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcatcher it is you're listening to us on. If you're catching us on YouTube Live or on YouTube after the fact, go ahead and hit subscribe, leave a thumbs up, do all the things. And you can find us at all the usual places: TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram, etc., where you can find daily shorts, character bios, and more. Even memes. Oh, memes. Oh, memes. Oh. From these elder millennials, the kind that everybody enjoys. So thank you. All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, boys. We've been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage. Plus, we got video game news. And we got a nice question from our most loyal listener. That's right. Our most loyal listener, Tommy Gunn, has once again sent us a question. He says, you're halfway. Oh, my God.
You're supposed to read it. We got a voice memo, remember?
That's right. That's why I said, oh, my God, because an idiot. I forgot we had a voicemail from Tommy. So hold on. Let me get the voicemail out. Let me get the phone up to the mic. Okay, press
Thanks,
play.
Tommy.
This is from Tommy Gunn 311. I have a question for the pod. You guys are gonna like this one. Are you ready for this? You are halfway, and your dad is halfway in you. Now, to escape, you have to go one way. Either all the way in your mom or out the back way, all the way into your dad and out. I love the show. Thanks. Thanks, Tommy, for that voicemail. So I'm going to read the question now. Oh, it's gone. It's been deleted. Oh, it's back. It's back. Okay. You are halfway. Tommy, where do you come up with this stuff? You are halfway in your mom and your dad
what
is halfway
sick
in you.
fuck came up with this question?
Now, this is a video game podcast, everybody. You are halfway in your mom and your dad is halfway in you. Now, to escape, you have to go one way, either all the way in your mom and out all the back way into your dad. I still don't really understand the question. Out the back way into my dad. But how do I go out the back way? I don't know. Let's let Jeff answer this one.
No, hold on a second. Because here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to answer this question, and then you two dickheads are gonna just back out of it, and then we're gonna move on. So how about Vactor answers the question first? This happens all the time,
you act
especially when
like-
it involves dick. It happens all the time on this thing. Hey, what's this thing about? Would you rather suck or sit on a dick? And then, hey, Jeff, answer. And then we won't answer. And then I'm the only one answering about where a penis will go.
You act like I'm gonna make a short of this with you being the only one answering. Then I
already know.
All right, fine. Vactor can answer first.
Since Jeff is too scared to answer, I'll be the man and answer it. So what I would do is, much like the way that I was created, I would take 50% of my DNA and I would split it down the middle. I would rip myself in half, and then each half could go into each parent and out, and then we could be reabsorbed back into the other one.
Wow. He would cut himself in half, Jeff. He would end his life.
Yeah, you can't. I'd rather. Yeah, basically that's what happens here. He'd kill himself. Okay, fair enough. Rob, what do you?
No, Jeff. That wasn't the deal. You said Vactor goes first.
I would fucking judo kick my way out of this one. I would like roundhouse over. I'm not even gonna say the words. I don't know how to get out of this one.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent answer.
It's
So everybody knows
unsolvable
Jeff
question.
W is always DTF.
Rob.
That's
Rob. Fuck out of here.
All right.
Right here, I'll back up and get the hell out of there. All right. That way, at least I can. I mean, you'll never be able to face your parents again, but
I don't know. Could it be like a Saw situation? You know, you didn't do it. Jigsaw did it to you, or in this case, Tommy saw.
Yeah.
mhm.
Just so
we have
everybody
another
knows.
voicemail from Tommy. Hold on.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
go
it.
ahead.
Another one just came in. Let me get this phone up here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just wanted you to know. Oh, by the way, Tommy here, in case you didn't know who was talking. Anyway, Tommy here. I just wanted you to know that this is not a Saw. Just in case you thought that. Sorry, I was just remembering a joke that I heard earlier today and I started laughing. Anyway, I wanted you to know that this is not a Saw situation. This is a purely sexual scenario from me all the time when I'm trying to fall asleep. And since friends, I wanted to know what you thought. Okay, thanks. Yo, thanks.
Thanks, Tommy.
Why did he send that so late?
Yeah.
Does he know we're recording right now? Oh, no. I'm just kidding. Another one did. An eye out for more Tommy voicemails in the show. For me, I don't really understand the question. I feel like I don't understand that I have to back all the way out back into my dad part. So, but that sounds like the lesser of two evils. So I'll just go ahead and do that. My dad, he's probably cool.
At least that one I don't have to look at anything.
Yeah, you're going backwards.
back out and get out of there.
All right. Whew, now that we got that out of the way, we can finally get into the video game talk because you know Jeff W. It's a fact. It's a known fact. This will be on his tombstone. He's always DTF. That stands for down to talk fun, everybody. And so we're going to do just that so Jeff doesn't get any angrier than he already is. I'll let Vactor take it away. What's been going on in the world of video game news?
Well, guess what? The game of the year from a few years ago, Cyberpunk 2077, is still here. It didn't disappear. They've been getting DLC. They've been slowly releasing bug fixes and updates. Well, now the best selling Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a collaboration with Anonymous Content. This is a global media company to develop a live action project set in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. So this is we don't know if this is going to be a show or a movie at this point, but something in the cyberpunk universe. Now, I don't know if either of you boys have partaken in the Netflix series Cyberpunk Edge Runners, but that actually was critically acclaimed. A lot of people have been enjoying that anime on Netflix, and a whole new audience got into the cyberpunk universe in 2022. Now, we don't know if there's going to be any ties to the big names that were in the game. So in the main Cyberpunk game, you had Keanu Reeves. That was "You're breathtaking." That was the big guy that was in Cyberpunk 2077 playing Johnny Silverhand. And then in the expansion pack, which I was just talking about, Phantom Liberty, you had Idris Elba. So we don't know if either one of them are going to reprise their roles in the show or movie. But at this point, the cyberpunk universe is going to be expanding, boys. What do you think?
Well, I guess it could be good, question mark.
Am I the only one that saw credits on Cyberpunk 2077?
Yes.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
Remember, I just played. I didn't do any side stuff. I just went main story,
Oh,
and
okay.
I went straight through. Now this was during the COVID lockdown, so I was able to
Oh, so
get
yeah,
a ton of
you had
time in.
Yeah, I didn't. I met Keanu Reeves, and then I didn't play
In
more
the game,
than
you
an
mean?
hour after that. Yeah, in the game, Rob.
Okay, just making sure.
Whatever his name is in that game.
Johnny
And I also-
Smoker Boy.
I
Smoker Boy.
also on a previous podcast had talked about I never had any of the issues a lot of people had as far as software related. I played it on the PC, had no bugs. It was a great experience. I played it from start to finish. A lot of people had problems and stopped and never went back after they
Yeah.
put out
Yeah,
patches
I got
and stuff.
I got trapped in like a couple rooms in there at one point. Like I had to restart the game several times.
But I like
I
the
had
universe.
several bugs. I had several bugs in that game. There was a bug. At least I think these were bugs. Maybe maybe these were gameplay issues, and I just didn't understand. At a certain point in the game, my character would just catch on fire. He
Oh
would
yeah, I remember that.
spontaneously start catching on
Yeah.
fire, and there was nothing I could do about it, and I didn't know what was going on. Now, I don't know if it was a setup of mine or not, a configuration of the character stats, or did I, run into like a debuff or something like that somewhere, but I would catch on fire, and that made the game significantly less enjoyable for me. Also, I had this weird bug where the background, so like the trees in the far background or the buildings, would show through the foreground. So it was like I had two images laid on top of each other or layered on top of each other when I was trying to walk around, and it was super duper distracting. I was playing it on PC as well,
Mhm.
but I don't really know the issue there. As far as the game itself goes, I didn't really dislike the game. I didn't have anything negative to say about the story so much or the gameplay, because for what I was playing, it was fine. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't blowing my mind, but it was enough to keep me interested in it. And I probably would have kept going too if it weren't for these issues. But I still have the game on PC. That new expansion's out too. I'm really dying to actually get into it. All this work that they've been putting into the game since launch has made me really want to hop back into it. So maybe one of these days. I hear it runs well on the old Steam Deck,
Ooh.
boys.
Oh,
If you can believe it, it originally launched in 2020. It's been 3 years, and they've just been steadily putting out patches and updates.
Right. So it was not. Remember when they would put out those? Remember when they would? Sorry, I'm remembering it. They would put out all the trailers, and at the end of them, it would always say "when it's ready."
Oh,
But
yeah.
they lied because they put it out. It was not ready. And it took another 3 years. If they had released it in 2023, could have been Game of the Year contender, boys.
It's
Yeah,
at
if
this
Zelda
point,
hadn't come out.
yeah. At this point, it's sold 25 million copies, so it's doing well. I also wanted to note the company that they're teaming with, Anonymous Content. They have produced True Detective, Mr. Robot, The Revenant, Spotlight. So they've got a lot of good things under their belt. We'll see what happens with this either show or movie. I think I'd rather see a show of Cyberpunk 2077 explore both the main game and then this Phantom Liberty expansion pack. I'd like to see that.
Right. And not don't give me a green screen show on Netflix. That's my only fear. Don't give me a, some poor looking shitty show. That's the one thing
Mhm.
I would not.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it is what I don't need to
We should write a letter, Jeff.
do.
We can
A
send it to them.
letter.
It just says, "Don't ruin it."
Yeah, no green screen. You
Signed, JeffW. I love it.
All right. So there's some more news on the way for you Last of Us fans. The Last of Us Part 2
That's
could
me.
be getting a remaster. Maybe. According to Naughty Dog's LinkedIn profile, they're working on a remastered version of The Last of Us Part 2. Did anyone purchase The Last of Us Part 1 remake?
I did, and
yeah, I
just like I always do, I played it for about a day and then stopped. But it is
Yeah.
in my PlayStation library.
Yeah, I don't didn't this I know it came out on PS4, but did this not like it's one of those things where it's like it came out on PS4, but did it not come out on PS5 like within weeks or something like that? Like it
I
wasn't
can't even remember.
It came out on the PS5
The
around
Last of Us
launch.
Part 1 remastered.
Yeah, I
Around
feel like
launch, it came out.
yeah, I feel like you can actively go buy that on the PlayStation, right? Like there's
Yeah.
not like a PlayStation 5, I should say. It's not like there's
You're right. They remastered it for
inaccessible.
PS5. They had a remaster for PS4 around
Mhm.
when the PS4 launched because
Oh,
Last of Us came out at the end of the PS3's life cycle.
yeah, I guess I'm talking part 2 only. So
Yeah, part 2 hasn't gotten anything just yet. PS4 got Last of Us Part 2 at the end of its cycle. And then the remaster of Last of Us 1 is what came out at the beginning of the PS5 life cycle.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
on the PlayStation 5, you can go buy part 2 and play it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just not a remastered version.
It's just not an updated.
Yeah, but it probably I'm sure it runs better, the frame rate's probably better if at all. And if it's
Right.
not capped, I'm sure it's better. The textures and the loading are higher resolution, but they're not different textures. It's not an upgraded version.
It just seems weird to re-release this within 3 years. Like it feels
Mhm.
like that kind of like
Well,
just came out ish.
they probably started working on it on the PS4 and then kind of switched over midway through production to PS5. And so I think the original like starting base point of Last of Us Part 2 was, oh, we're going to design this for PS4 assets, and then maybe this remaster is like, oh, okay, now it's going to be designed specifically for the next generation. But the reason why I said it may be on the way, it could be on the way, and this is not an official announcement, is because that guy, the lead outsource artist at Naughty Dog, he posted on his LinkedIn, hey, I was responsible for working on blah, 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 Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2 remastered. And then he deleted the Last of Us Part 2 part. So we don't
Ooh,
know if he messed up
a little
or
snafu.
this was actually something that is specifically in the works. But this is also just right around the time that a bunch of workers were laid off at Naughty Dog, and Neil Druckmann, the Last of Us director, was recently talking about writing and directing a new title. No details have been revealed so far, but um, a lot of people are thinking that, oh, it's maybe a Last of Us remake that's coming out, remastered. But who knows? We'll see if this is either just that guy mistyped. He put remastered and he just messed up, or if this is actually coming. But like Jeff said, because it came out so close, this is probably just for people who never played it rather than us who we were playing it all along the way. And it's so fresh in our minds. We all saw credits on it that it's like, oh, we don't need to go back and play it so close. Now, give me 5-10 years. Okay.
Right. And I mean, this could be like a for the HBO series, like, hey, we're gonna release part 2 and like an updated frame rate, higher rate, like Rob was saying. It's like I feel like but I think that might be the case here. It might not be like significant. It might be just, hey, optimized for PlayStation now. Like there might be maybe some higher quality textures here and there, but it could be like a not a full blown remake, remaster, but just kind of a slight upgrade. If I had to,
Right. Maybe if Trent got it for me for Christmas,
Mm.
maybe I would consider possibly mulling over the concept of potentially playing it again. But outside of that, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's having a party over there. That's for the visual listeners. Does that make sense? Visual listeners?
Yeah, that's right. Also, for the visual listeners, Lego Animal Crossing officially announced, boys. Everybody who's into Animal Crossing, which is, I think, just Jeff at this point.
He's
you're
the only
gonna be
one who's
getting
actively playing it.
a Lego version of this, Jeff. What do you think about little what's that guy that he sells you stuff? The raccoon with the droopy eyes.
Yeah, what's his name?
That
Jeff?
guy.
You know,
What do
the
you think?
raccoon
The
that sells you
raccoon?
stuff.
Tom,
That sells
what's
you
his
stuff.
name?
Is he a
What's his
Tom
name,
something.
Jeff?
Yeah.
What's his name? What's his name, Jeff?
You just stop
Jeff,
asking
what's
me like that.
Tom Nook.
Tom
I was trying to get him to
Yeah,
say
he's
it.
a little fucking loan shark, little asshole on that
So
island.
we could pin
Fuck
his.
him and those kids.
We can make him look like he loves the game.
You
ruined it, Vactor.
The droopy eyes.
It's too
What's that
early
supposed
for.
to mean?
It's
What's the
just
name of
too-
that girl who always does the announcements? I forget, Jeff. What's the name? The morning announcements. What's her name though?
Ow! This is loud.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. So this is
Vactor's putting on a commercial.
yeah. Tom Nook's a little bitch. Tom Nook is the oppressor in this fucking trailer.
Tom Nook,
So
you
you got
little
all the little
bitch.
characters.
Yeah, he coming
All
around
the little
collecting.
characters, it looks like. Where's the little cat with the glasses?
Oh, that's my wife's favorite character. I forgot her name, but that's her.
I like
favorite.
the hedgehog.
I remember deep into the pandemic when Animal Crossing came out and you'd go into the stalk market, you would get your new island visitors and people would trade you this, that, and the other to try to get that cat with the glasses.
Oh yeah.
On
This
their
visitor
island.
sucks. This visitor is shit.
This one's ugly. Ugh. I want the cat with the glasses.
So this is just a Lego set. This is some boring ass Lego toys, is what's going on here.
Okay,
right?
first of all, Jeff.
That's what's happening, right? That's
Legos
what's happening.
aren't boring. Uh-oh, there's Tom Nook.
It's like what are those things
You're
called?
thinking
Duplos?
of Duplos. Yeah, you're
Is
thinking
that-
of Duplos.
Duplos? I've never heard of that until this week.
You know,
Vactor
Jeff-
accosted me this week for that.
Jeff has heard
Tell
about
the Duplo
Duplos
story.
many times.
Tell the
Growing
Duplo
up-
story, Vactor.
Well, you see, Duplos, which I commented on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Vactor, and we had a Lego post go up about Star Wars, and this guy was like, "Hey, Legos are for babies. Legos are for babies." And I said, "No, that's Duplos." And then he responded, "I don't care what you call it. They're still for babies." So that
We had
inspired
a voicemail from that guy.
that inspired me to Rob, that's what it was. Rob had some Duplos and he was picking them up, and Jeff goes, "I've never heard this before," which is a lie because we know Jeff has heard of them because I had mentioned the comment
I've never heard the
before.
branding.
And Duplos go back to the 1960s. So there's no way that Jeff grew up in America. Can you guys see this? Are you looking at my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, you see
Yeah.
The
Jeff
audio
W right
listeners
there?
can't see it.
Yeah, he's pulling
Jeff-
up a Google fucking image
Jeff's
search
got-
here.
Jeff's got a red hat on. He's got a number 8 jersey, and there's his Dalmatian. But look at the Duplos in the background. They're just bigger Legos. So I told Jeff in a side chat, there's no way that you went to the doctor, you went to the dentist, and little Jeffy did not see Duplos at some point, or he went over to his buddy's house and they had Duplos on the floor. Duplos are like Legos. Like if you tell me you've never heard of Lego before, then you ain't American. You ain't been in this country very long. But Duplos are just a bigger Lego, so you don't choke on it. You don't
Right. Right. I get
You don't
I
get
get
them
the
stuck under
concept.
the couch, Jeff, but you still step on them.
I get the concept. I just never heard them referred to as dupe. I've never heard that name. See, I was just telling Vactor, I was like, he was privileged as a child.
Mm-mm.
So what
No
happened
way.
was my toys came out of the box. Vactor's came in the box. So maybe he saw the name and I just never
Mm-mm.
saw it because they were already open. You know what I'm
As
saying?
like I just gave an example. Jeff went to the doctor's. You never went to the doctor, Jeff? You never went to the dentist?
They
You never
don't
got
call
your
them
teeth
Duplos
cleaned?
there.
At the dentist, they had them there. You saw them, and you were like, "Hey, look, there's some
know
there.
what they
There's
are. I'm
some
saying the name.
Duplo."
No, Jeff was too busy playing with those big curly wires with the beads
Yeah.
that you push
And you
up and
move
down.
it.
Yeah.
Like that's what Jeff was playing with.
Yeah. That's like saying you never heard of that, Jeff. That thing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What is
the
that? What's that called
Duplos,
though? What's that
that's
called
called
though?
the wire game.
See?
We've all know
Duh,
about
Jeff.
it.
Nobody here knows what that
But
shit's
that's not a
called. Y'all
brand.
know what it
The
is. You know what I
Duplo
mean?
is a brand. That's
Just
different.
saying. I'm just
If
saying.
Jeff
Just
saw
go
these
fucking
little
find it.
toys and you tell me he wouldn't know what
Fucking
they
look
were,
it
he
up.
would know they were Duplo. I think what happened, Jeff is so
Duplo?
ingrained into the music industry. He only knows Diplo. That's all he knows. He doesn't know Duplo
Fuck
because
that
it
guy
got
too.
pushed in out of his brain because he was listening to too much stuff. I think Jeff's too far away from. Let's say if we talked to Jeff when he was 10 years old, he would know what a Duplo is. But now, 30-year-old Jeff, he doesn't know Duplo. He forgot. And he has no reason because there's no little kids around.
He's like, you know what he's like? He's like Peter Pan in the movie Hook. He forgot all about Neverland.
Yep.
Forgot all about Hook, all about Tum Tum,
Jeff forgot.
all about Bangarang.
He lost them good.
He
Yeah.
lost his marbles. He lost them good.
Stupid.
I think I was on the wrong screen, by the way. I was looking at something else while you guys were looking at that Bing search. All right. So
What was
on
it?
to it was Jeff in a Duplo form. He had a red hat on and a jersey. These Legos are going to be 170 pieces up to 535 pieces. You're going to either be spending $15 or you're going to be spending $75, Jeff. There's 5 different sets that are coming out in March of 2024. Go good.
Let's go.
Right next to Jeff's Lego Bowser.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that fucks with Legos next to me. So.
He's lying. All right.
His Lego's right there. You can't see them. They're just off camera.
Jeff's lying as usual.
No, you
Also,
sold all those, Rob.
something else that Jeff lies about. Nintendo, the 3DS and the Wii U online services are shutting down in April of 2024, boys. My birthday month. We're going to shut down all of the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U online services. Pokemon Bank is the one exception, Jeff.
Of course. Gonna make that money.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Which still
actually
will be online.
What makes this a little bit more interesting too is so I don't know. I don't think you guys ever installed Homebrew on your Nintendo stuff.
No, I've got my Nintendo 3DS over there. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time edition.
Yeah.
Jeff. But I do not have any homebrew on it. I do have some interesting old pictures. I opened it up. It's like a time capsule. All the old pictures on there. It was very interesting.
Yeah. So it could have changed. I haven't done it in like since I moved out here, so at least 4 or 5 years. But some of the homebrew stuff is tied to some of the games. Like you have to, when I did it, excuse me, when I did the homebrew on my 3DS, I had to go download like some puzzle game through the 3DS store. So you have to make like a $5 purchase to make it happen. and then whatever exploit was available to that game would let you then homebrew the Nintendo stuff. So I would be curious if they found an alternative to that by now, or if this would essentially brick those consoles, in terms of being able to do anything with them, except for put a disc in and play, or play like a downloaded game. Um, but I mean, I don't think. I mean, obviously the 3DS. I'm surprised the 3DS is shutting down. That is surprising, but Wii U. I mean, I'm surprised it's up. Still, to be honest with you, I'm surprised they didn't cut this shit, longer, a long time ago, I should say.
Well, they closed the eShops several months ago. That I know. Because I can't get Ocarina of Time again, Jeff.
Oh, right.
I have to buy the physical. I have to go on Mercari or eBay and pay out the butthole if I want a copy of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny that they shut down the eShop. So can you, without buying the physical, can you buy a Link Between Worlds on for the 3DS?
No,
you can't.
You have to buy physical.
And actually, I guess to further state, can you play that game non-emulated, at all? I guess
I mean, if you already have it, I have Link Between Worlds on my 3DS, so that's not an issue for me. But for someone like you, Jeff, I imagine you'd have to download the ROM.
Yeah, you'd have to basically go. Like Nintendo, for all the crying they do about piracy. If I wanted to play a top 3 Zelda game for me, probably maybe top 2 Zelda game for me. If I wanted to play that game or let somebody play it, I have to steal it, essentially, to get a non multiple hundreds of dollars way.
Hey, we don't condone stealing here. Just think of it as a backup copy of the physical version that you bought several years ago.
Yeah, I backed up all my DVDs as well. Yes.
Yeah. That's it. We're not thieves over here. We're not criminals. We're just backup artists.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. The 3DS to me, I felt like that would just sit open forever, but I guess not. I guess with the Switch, I'm assuming 3DS sales have plummeted. I haven't really paid attention to that, but release that fucking catalog. Like, what are we doing here? Nintendo hasn't emulated that for the Switch yet? What are we doing? Put all that shit out.
They'll just remaster all the games and put it out on the Switch too, and you'll pay $70 for each one.
Oh yeah,
that's how Nintendo gets ya.
Yeah, online support features like online co-op play, internet rankings, and data distribution will no longer be available. And that's one of those, I think the bigger issue of just digital stuff is having somebody support it for the online stuff, having servers and things like that. If you don't have the ability to go back and play it after a certain point, you're going to lose it. And we're looking at the same thing with streaming on TV shows and movies, where let's say something just came out on streaming, like let's say Marvel's Daredevil, whatever it was on Netflix, and then you think, oh, I'm always going to have access to Daredevil as long as I have Disney Plus or Netflix, and then they're like, nope, we're taking it away, and then you have no physical option. Then, like Jeff said, the only resort is piracy. The only thing that you can do if you want to go watch Daredevil, and I'm just using that as an example, something that's been removed from streaming, you have no alternative. So it's interesting, I think, the digital versus physical thing, as we get further and further along. Because like when it very first started and everything's available, you're like, yeah, this is great, digital. And then when stuff starts to disappear that you like playing, that's going to be a problem.
No. Digital all the way, baby. Never buy physical again.
And that's the news.
Yeah.
That's the news. All right. Thank you so much, Vactor, for chiming in with all that. We greatly appreciate it. Now it's time to move on to our Let's Play section of the pod, and our highly anticipated segment called Zelda Gate 2023. Now, if you recall,
there's no
loyal
update.
Listeners,
Damn it.
Zelda Gate, everybody. Loyal listeners remember that several weeks ago, Jeff made the bold promise that he will have Zelda beat. And when I say Zelda, I mean Tears of the Kingdom beat by Labor Day. Now, Labor Day is come and gone. Vactor's over there partying for the visual listeners. He's got several balloons and confetti and all this stuff
is
for
the
Zelda Gate.
Zelda Gate icons.
So anyway, bottom line is Jeff promised to beat Tears of the Kingdom, and he still hasn't come through with that promise, but we're checking in this week. Jeff, did you beat Tears of the Kingdom this week?
I haven't, but I found a way with one device to copy every amiibo ever, and I don't have to have any like cards or like multiple devices. So we're gonna cheat our way to the end, fellas.
Yeah?
I just gotta dump a lot of amiibo.
All
and,
right.
You know, once I put in some more time on Assassin's Creed, I'll get back to it. You know, or you know, we're priming up for the holidays here. Maybe maybe some of these slow weeks will get me some extra time to mess with the Zelda when I'm not, you know, fixing cars and dealing with that.
All right. So we'll check in next week for an update on Zelda Gate 2023, everybody. Okay, so first on the list for our Let's Play, it says Death Stranding Scolding. What is this, Vactor?
We were talking about different versions of Death Stranding, and I was mentioning that you can get Death Stranding on the Mac platform, Mac OS, coming December 2nd, 2023. And I'm very interested because Jeff told me that this would never happen. But I'm looking right here, and I have a link in our show notes. December 2nd, you can buy Death Stranding on the Mac, and it's going to work flawlessly. Perfect the way that Kojima-san intended. So Death Stranding.
Does it say on the on the link that it will quote work flawlessly end quote?
Yeah. It'll work flawlessly.
We'll see about that.
Kojima is going to be he's going to be rolling over in his grave when he sees the way that Jeff has done a 360 and completely pooped on Kojima's head. Because before, Jeff was a big Kojima guy. He was a big fan.
It's true.
Now he doubts everything Kojima does.
For the audio listeners, Jeff has a big Kojima poster right behind him.
Ah, you know, that's
with
what
a bunch
I
of cutout hearts.
do. That's what I should get is a Kojima poster. Yeah.
You know what? Every time we do the Zelda Gate, this going back to our Zelda Gate discussion, every time we do Zelda Gate, this is what I'm going to have to do from now on because this is how Jeff makes me feel every time Zelda Gate happens.
He just Googled this
every
while
time
he's
it
talking.
For
He just
the
figured
listeners,
this out.
he's got his thumbs down. He's doing thumbs down, and it's making it rain on his camera. It's raining.
It makes me very
static.
sad.
It's real dark.
Stupid.
Very
like a puppy out in
sad.
the rain.
All right, but yeah, we can get some great new stuff coming on our Macs. We're going to be able to play it on our iPhone 15s, Jeff. Jeff, what's the point of having an iPhone 15 if you don't play a game on it?
Jeff. What do
To
you
have a
even do
good
on your phone
that's not shitty.
No.
You know, every other thing in my life that I need my phone for. But yeah, you know, we'll talk about a video. I don't know. I'll play a demo. I'm not a $60 game for your fucking phone. There's no way. There's no way.
Yes, that's right, Jeff. It's called inflation, Jeff. You ever heard of it?
That's not even what
it.
Yeah, let me know when I mean, you could maybe if I can hook up to my TV. I'll plug it into my TV.
Yeah, you got that USB
to
HDMI adapter, Jeff.
You know what else you can plug into your TV, your PS5 or your Xbox Series X, and that only costs $500.
That's true.
But you already have a phone. Jeff already bought his phone.
And hold on, it's probably all a part of these 15 streaming or you know, subscription services I'm on for all these video games now.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
In a little bit, but I do want to point out to Vactor, I've said it before and I said it again. Death Stranding is already available on the Mac if you got the GeForce NVIDIA Now subscription, buddy. You could have been playing games on your Mac forever from now.
I did. That's how I was playing a bunch of stuff. But also, all the streaming options that Jeff hates. Now, he was just talking about paying for streaming, all these subscription services. I was playing a little Amazon Luna, boys, and it was fantastic. we haven't checked in on Luna in a while. Remember Luna and Stadia?
No.
Remember
No.
the X
That's
Cloud?
that's
No.
Amazon's. Amazon's is Luna. They
Remember
actually had a couple
all of
free games up there. I remember I tried the Devil May Cry that Vactor, I think, is what he played.
Yes.
And it was responsive, but
Mine was perfect.
come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play the
Perfect.
game. I'm gonna play it somewhere
Perfect.
else.
So you get a bunch of free games with Prime Gaming, which we all are on Prime. We all got Prime subscriptions. You all know that. Did you know, Rob, you can actually subscribe to Ubisoft Plus through Luna. So you can play all your Ubisoft games, all of your Immortals Phoenix Risings, all your Assassin's Creed Valhallas, all of that stuff. You can play it on Luna, which means you can play it on your Mac.
Oh, your Fire Stick. I turned on the Fire Stick this morning and it was trying to get me to play Assassin's Creed. It was like, play on your Fire Stick. I'm not doing that.
But these
Get out of here.
the streaming, as long as you have good internet, these streaming services are starting to look better and better, boys. F all
Ooh,
that.
You can play Beyond Good and Evil, Jeff.
Hey, you know, I would love to see you play an Assassin's Creed stream, like the whole game, because
matter
you're
of
gonna
fact.
fucking hate it. 100%.
I love it. I love it. Look, I can
you're
add it
gonna
to my
hate
desktop.
it, Vactor.
I love it.
If I love it, you mean hate it. Then yes, you do love it.
All right. Speaking of things that I love, boys, I got the chance to play another game.
Okay, what's that?
Well, it's a little game which Jeff is a big fan of. That's 007. There was a brand new 007 game, boys, that just came out. It's called
I just
Cypher.
clicked the link. It's a Mac game.
That's
Again.
correct.
Oh, great.
You're
Surprise,
playing on the
surprise.
Mac.
Apple Arcade, which Jeff has. We are in the same family, so Jeff has access to all these Apple Arcade games, which are great, by the way. There's a ton of great games on Apple Arcade. No matter what Jeff tries to say to disparage the Mac gamers out there, I'm with you, boys. I support you and girls. There's a bunch of good games, and this Cypher game is pretty fun, boys. You get to go through.
What is this?
It's basically little puzzles. Each room that you go into, you have to kind of flip a switch or not be seen by a guard. So there's kind of some stealthiness to it. There's some action to it. It's one of those 3/4 isometric views, top down. But I had a blast with Cypher on the Mac. I played it with my controller, Jeff.
What do you when you say puzzles? Like, it looks like a top-down RTS game. This
Yeah,
clip
it's
you're
like
fucking
isometric. Like it's not
That's-
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, this is
but it's like Baldur's Gate.
right. And there's more than one level, Jeff. So you're talking about that RTS.
Okay.
Does this look like an RTS to you, Jeff? You go through the
I
room.
didn't know
I
what the
mean, kind
map
of.
was. I couldn't tell.
You go through the room, and like this is a server room. All right, so you got to go over there and pick up
He
this
goes,
thing,
this
right?
is a server
So
room.
then
There's
you
4
gotta go over
servers
here,
in there.
you
You're in a
gotta
restaurant.
stop, and you got to unlock all the puzzles, and then that's it.
Okay.
And you go to the next room, and you're trying to stop Blowfield, all the Spectre stuff. Jeff loves Bond, so he knows Blowfield. He knows Spectre. He knows
Deep
Yeah,
Throat.
he knows
Money
Jaws,
Penny.
He knows Odd Job.
Deep Throat. Jeff, I think
Throat
you downloaded the wrong 007. This is a different one, boy.
Moon
we were
Scraper.
Moonraker. So I was having a great old time. And it's free on the Apple Arcade, which Jeff already pays for in our family.
That's true. So maybe I'll check it out on the iPad.
There's a
I was gonna say, if we want to play a good, actually, I don't even know if this is on the Apple Arcade Vactor. Where the Hitman mobile game. Now that was a mobile game for its days. It was like a little you know what talk about puzzles. Rob, you never probably played that, did you?
No,
The Hitman one.
It is not on Apple Arcade.
Yeah. In fact, you should pull a trailer up of that. But it's like a little puzzle game where you have to advance your little hitman, whatever. What's his name in the game? I don't even know.
Agent 37.
Yeah, Agent whatever. You have to advance him through these levels, and you have moves that you can do, and then you have to unlock, and you can go back and forth. I don't think it's this one, Vactor. This one seems like a full blown ass game. I'm talking about the little
trailer for Hitman Blood
one.
Money.
Do like Hitman iOS game, whatever that thing was good. I like that one. if you want a little bit of a puzzle sneaking around ish kind of game.
A little Splinter Cell, but not as good, like the Kmart version of Splinter Cell.
Was it
Yeah.
a sniper game?
Hitman
Oh, Go. Yeah,
Go
that's
was
right.
the name of that mother effer. Put that up
They got
there.
a
That
ton of
was
Hitman games.
that was my ish right
Hitman
here.
Go launch trailer.
Yeah, I bet you
Is
didn't
this another
know.
Yeah, just
isometric
fast forward.
game?
So this is what the game looks like, and get it to this part. Yeah, you could see.
What is this? This is like a little puzzle game. It's like a little
Yeah.
board game.
Like it's almost like a board game, and you advance, but the other characters advance, and you have to solve the puzzles in a way that keeps you undetected. It's actually, if we want to talk about mobile games, I don't like mobile games, but this one was super fun. This is probably one of my favorite ones of all time. I
This
think.
is a
If
shocking
you're looking for
revelation. We're
for
gonna
something like a little espionage action on your iPhone.
have to add this to our show notes. Hitman Go is Jeff's favorite game of all time. All right.
Game of the year.
But definitely,
5
Jeff,
years ago.
you should try out the Cypher game, which just recently came out, and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, which I've been enjoying, Splintered Fate. So there's some good stuff on the Apple Arcade, and NBA 2K23 is on there, Jeff. And then we know how much Jeff loves Angry Birds. I was just re-listening to an old episode of the Sandbox Gamers. Rob was talking about how much Jeff loves Angry Birds. So go
He
listen
does.
to our back catalog and find that in
He's
our
always
75
talking about it.
episodes.
Every time, Jeff rings us up on Discord, it goes da 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 da. That's his theme song. That was
That's
Angry
right.
Birds, Jeff. Don't act like you didn't know.
You had to clarify that.
You knew that.
That's Angry
I'm
Birds.
just letting you know that you knew that, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So Jeff and I, we spite played a game for Vactor.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Jeff spite played it. I just played it. It was a game called Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is the latest offering from Ubisoft in the Assassin's Creed lineage. Now, if you take away the Mirage and just put a number behind it, I'm pretty sure it's Assassin's Creed 27 or 28. I lost count, but it's in that area. But this is another offering. Now, I just started this game yesterday. I got into it late. It was actually out. What's today? The 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th. So it's been out for 3 days. So 2 days as of yesterday. But I hopped into it. I hopped into Ubisoft Connect, boys, which I've talked about in the past. But Ubisoft Connect is a monthly subscription service for Ubisoft games where you pay $14.99. That's the starting rate. They do have higher tiers if you want additional content. But to play everything that they're putting out, it's the $14.99 a month. And I use that to play, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I was subscribed to this in the past when Immortals Phoenix Rising was out. And I've said this on the pod before, that I must have bought that game 3 times for the monthly subscription price. Because I played a lot of it and then I just stopped playing it.
Rob is the
kept the
ideal
subscription going.
customer for Ubisoft.
Oh yeah, they like that. They like the Robs out there, the people who forget that they're subscribed to this. So we'll see if I forget this time. But you know what? I think it's a good deal. The $14.99 a month, especially for somebody like me who has fallen off the Assassin's Creed train significantly. It's not a game that I'm typically interested in because I have played several of these games, and I've said it on the pod before, and I'll say it again. They all start to blend together. They all feel like the same game after a while, which is not that good, considering where the game started. Its roots was a stealth action game, and it gradually shifted away from that into more of an action RPG, which is fine, but that's not the game that I enjoyed when I first started playing it, Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2. What came after Assassin's Creed 2? What was that one called?
Assassin's Creed 3.
No, it was Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. That was the last one I played. And then, or the last one I beat, and then whichever one came out after that.
I think that one had multiplayer. It had like the little you're in a big crowd and like there's people who are assassins who are like
Yeah,
hiding
I
and all
remember
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I would hop in and out here and there. I would sort of like put my toes in the water for additional Assassin's Creed that came out, and I just wouldn't stick with it. It didn't grab me. So I was off the Assassin's Creed train. But a lot of the reviews for this game are saying that this is Assassin's Creed being taken back to its roots. They're trying to get back into the stealth feel that the original games had. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And I think for the $14.99 price point, you can play this for 30 days or for however long you want, as long as you keep the subscription going. And if you end up not liking the game, you don't have to feel guilty for spending the $70 on it, which is good. It's got the Game Pass mentality on it, which I think is about the same cost, right? Game Pass is about $14.99 for Ultimate, or maybe a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit more
I want to say
expensive.
so.
Yeah.
I want to say that's about right.
Except this, of course, is only Ubisoft games, but I still think it's a good value. So
Mhm.
I hopped into that, and I believe Jeff did as well.
Yeah, Vactor made fun of me and said I could do it. So what did I do? I dunked all over his face and I did it
How is that
as
making
well.
fun of you by saying that you could do it?
Yeah,
That's
I dunked all. You can hear it in his voice
I
right
don't
now. I dunked
understand.
right all
How does
over
that
him,
make fun
and
of
he's
me?
mad about it right now.
Jeff's
So I
dunk
did it.
attempt, as we saw
So
on
I did
Discord,
it.
went right out the rim. It went right out. LeBron
Nope.
James went whoop, whoop,
Nope.
whoop.
Nope.
It popped right
Um.
out.
Yeah, I bought it. Basically, me and Rob did the same thing, I guess. So yeah, I just got the $15 thing and then downloaded Assassin's Creed, which it was only like 40 gigs to download on PC
Right. Mhm.
instead of like 100, which I feel like most of these big games are now. So it only took me like 5 minutes to download it, thankfully, and I was able to start playing right away.
Mr. Fast Internet over
Yeah,
here.
get that gig,
Took
baby.
me 20 minutes.
And then so basically, yeah, I did the same thing. I think I played a lot more than Rob did because I
Yeah,
was
you got
playing, or not of
so.
this game, but I should say of Assassin's Creed. Like
Oh,
I've played, I think all the way up till I'd have to look at the list. I had to pull up the wiki and look at it. But there was a game that they released. So it's after Black Flag. So I played through all those like, two, and then those little sequels to two that aren't numbered. And then I played three, which was kind of bad, but kind of interesting. And then four. And there was one right after four that they only released on the Xbox 360 for a little while. I'm sure it's out on everything now, but they only
yeah, I'm
released it for
looking
the
at the
Xbox
list.
360 initially.
Rogue.
Vector's got the list up. Brotherhood, Revelations 3, Black Flag, Rogue,
It would be Rogue, yeah. Because
Unity.
I didn't play those ones on the Xbox One. I think I played four on the Xbox One, if that came out for that. Black Flag. Yeah, see, I played Black Flag for the Xbox One. So
Which was the one where you were like a brother and sister?
that I think is
Duo?
That was the
Unity.
British one.
I think that's the next one down. I think it's this.
That was the last one I played. That was like my last straw with
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, where I
Yeah.
just couldn't get into it.
And then, around that, Black Flag and Rogue, those were like heavy boat games is the only way I can describe it. A lot of boat action going on in there. And so that's kind of where I left off. I've dilly-dallied in the other ones there. I've messed around, but I've never Valhalla and Odyssey and all. I don't think I've ever played more than an hour and just like messing around with it. I don't even think I've purchased them. I think I've ended up playing them because they were on a Game Pass thing or something, like a little bit. So yeah, I think me and Rob are kind of in the same boat in there. Like we fell off for these big Assassin's Creed. Maybe I wish I would have played one of those because I've heard how they changed up, for that, but it became one of those franchises that are like, there's just too much going on basically. So I don't have
Right.
time and I lost interest. There's no, and I guess we can get into this when we start talking about this new game, but there's no interesting like through line here to me anymore. So that's what, made me essentially fall off.
And they all seemed, again, not talking so much about Assassin's Creed Mirage, because I haven't had enough time in it to make this judgment, but they all seem very bland in terms of the setting,
Mhm.
not super duper interesting. Almost and I know this isn't the fact. I'm just telling you what it seems like as a casual Assassin's Creed player, that they're taking the same map and they're just putting it in the blender and then spitting it back out. And here's the new map. It's very there's nothing interesting to look at in these maps. Like if you think, for example, like Red Dead Redemption 2's big open world, you've got all these ecosystems, different places to check out, different vantage points, different visual landmarks to check out, or
Mhm.
even like Breath of the Wild is a good example of that too. But it doesn't seem like that in these games. Now I can't speak for the most recent ones where you're in Egypt or Valhalla or whatever, because I had fallen off by that point. So maybe
Valhalla would
that's
be
wrong,
the good one to get into. Like that's completely different.
right? Uh, so that was also another big thing where I was just not super thrilled about it. Now, this new game, Assassin's Creed Mirage, I will say first and foremost, looks Jeff W's kiss on the ultra wide. I put
Mhm.
it on the old SSD, not to get into it, but I know you're supposed to be playing your games off your SSD on your PC. I know this, but I was unaware installing certain games like Starfield on the hard disk drive when I didn't realize it. And I was like, why does it keep these loading times suck? What's happening? And eventually I figured it out. And so I had to redo everything. I had to uninstall a bunch of stuff off the SSD and put it back onto the SSD. And boy, it is looking so good and running so smooth on the PC. This is PC gaming master race right here.
Nice.
So I'm really enjoying the visuals of the game so far. Now, I've only had it for a day. I think I got maybe 3 hours, 4 hours into it yesterday. Jeff, you're probably further than me because I saw you were playing more when I was out seeing the Paw Patrol movie. When I was out
That's
taking
how
a
I get
nap
'em.
in a movie theater.
I wait till they
Um,
take care of their kids and then I get ahead of them.
but
That's
I
how I
got
do
to the second title screen. They show the title
Oh.
screen twice in this game, Jeff, for some reason.
Maybe I skipped it.
And I don't know why,
Uh,
but ultimately the point where I got was where you finally get your costume, you
okay.
cut off your fingers,
Yeah. Okay.
and you are tasked with I forget what mission you start off, but
Did you
with
do
whatever mission is immediately right after that.
Did you do any investigations or no?
No, that's right where I
I
stopped.
think you're at it. Did you ride the camel or
No,
no? Okay.
no.
So you're like right. Okay, yeah. So you
Yeah,
basically
so
just got out of the
I got my
second
fingers cut
area.
off. I got my
Mhm.
sweet outfit, and that's where okay, I stopped for the night.
Yeah. So I
I
got
probably would have
pretty
got further, but I had to go see Paw
yeah.
Patrol.
I'm pretty far past it. And I guess I'll just kind of go into my thoughts about it generally. And then Rob, you can
Okay.
you can chime in about the beginning. But yeah, it's so yeah, basically the game starts out, you do your traditional like what I feel like is people don't talk about this a lot like for games, but like these story based games oftentimes you're in this like time flash either forward backwards or whatever, or sideways, I don't know, uh where you're it feels like you're not really playing the game for like I don't if you go look up Rob's hours right now, Rob just got to the game. So if you look up however long it took you to get through that is how long I feel like it takes you to get to the game.
Yeah, probably
Which
like 3 or 4 hours.
yeah, which is kind of annoying, I have to say. It's fine for all the exposition. Like if you're deep into that in here, I'm not so much. I'm generally following what's happening. Like I'm not totally out of it, but all this like side bullshit of like this person's, upset with this person, that stuff bores me. I just kind of watch the main cutscenes. Uh, so Rob got to the point where you kind of just start the game. I'm past that a little bit. I'm almost done with the first investigation, which is about it's like a series of like 4 or 5 little missions. You have to run around. You're just doing, traditional Assassin's Creed stuff, You have to go unlock some areas, jump off a tower, go pickpocket some stuff, go rip down wanted signs of your own face, go, infiltrate some weird factory area type thing and
Right.
get somebody out of there. It's pretty cut and dry. In terms of being Assassin's Creed, I would say it is nice. I haven't played the more recent ones, but it does feel stealthy. It does feel for me, Metal Gear is the best stealth games of all time for me. And so I feel like, I enjoy getting back into those type of games. And so that is like a nice feeling here. And the controls are decently smooth. But it's pretty traditional. Because Vactor, at least saw the other ones we played or played some of them. Like, there's some interesting stuff to me here. Like, there's like, your bird or whatever. You can like call to your bird, and that's how you can like scope out your map. And actually, and Rob, you'll find this when you get to the investigations. It's going to be like, hey, go to this thing on the map, and it's going to be on your map, but it's not going to be on your like on the top of your screen you have like north,
Mhm.
south, east, west. Like it won't be there until fucking what Bran Stark or whatever into this bird's brain, and then you go fly around and find
That's
it
a
on
Lord of the
the
Rings reference. Right
yeah, it was Star Trek. And then you can find like parts of the investigation and you can kind of scope stuff out. It'll let you tag things. It's kind of an interesting thing. I'm sure that was in these previous games because it seems like it's a good idea. But there's some cool stuff, but there's a few problems I have with this game. And Rob, you know this because you played enough of it. Like there's enough like jankiness to the free run around. Like for example, like if you told me, oh, hey, now go traverse this entire map to go find something. First off, I don't want to ride the fucking camel. Okay. I'm not playing these games to ride
Just
a
not
horse,
riding a
to
camel.
ride
No,
a
no, no,
camel,
no,
or
no.
ride a fucking go-kart, a scooter, whatever it is. I don't want to do that. I want to like whatever the character is. I like Vactor, you can relate to this, and we'll talk about this one, this month. And I think this is the reason why we love this game. But like the Spider-Man games, right? Like it is not a problem, and it is fun to go from one side of the game to the other side of the game. Pretty quick, fluid. There's not a lot of like hangups. You're not like flying into stuff or like running into weird things. Whereas here I feel like that's kind of always happening to me. Like I'm kind of, and I guess there's some respect and there's some like, skill to that, being able to traverse the map well. But there's a couple times where like I'm in a room and like I hit up an A at the wrong time. And Rob, you'll get to this one mission. It's like you got to rescue these prisoners off this little dock area, and there's a boat. And there's one area where you walk into the boat and there's like a little puzzle you can do, which I never finished because got tired of it. But I walked in there and I hit up an A to try to move this thing, and
Mhm.
my character like literally like in the flash of a frame like swung out of the door and like went on top of the of the area that I was in. I was like on the upper deck, and he
Yeah.
like came out and like started climbing, and I'm like that's not what I want. And I guess I would think that'd be more refined now. I think they would have figured out a way to make this as smooth as, let's say, a Spider-Man. And I know there's different challenges there, but it just doesn't feel all that like uh fun to traverse sometimes. Like when you're running away from people and you have to escape them and all that stuff, like there's some fun to be had there, but I don't know. The feeling of it is kind of jank. I don't know if you felt like that, Rob, or if you enjoyed
Sometimes,
it.
yeah, I would feel that way. Vactor, I was streaming for Vactor yesterday while Vactor was at work, and I'm sure Vactor saw me like bouncing off of a wall and jumping into like a weird direction or falling. It's like 99% there. But if you just go just so wrong left or right or something like that, all of a sudden you're grappling onto something you don't want. You're jumping a direction you don't really want to.
Yeah.
Rob's got to stay
Plus,
one step ahead of the bread line.
yes. Hercules. Disney's Hercules. I love that movie. That's something that I've been doing to my wife a lot lately. Anytime a song comes on, like I'll just say, yes, and just say the wrong artist, and she gets so mad. And I love doing that.
Oh,
She goes, I know you're just messing with me. I know you know who Stevie Nicks is. I'll be like, oh, the Bangles. Yes, I love the Bangles. Anyway, so I feel like you just have to be just so precise when you're parkouring all over the place. That doesn't really bother me that much because sometimes it's just user error too. But one thing that I was getting a little frustrated with, and I'm curious Jeff's take on this, is the combat. There's so you have to either parry people who are coming at you, they'll flash bright yellow, or you have to dodge people who are coming at you, they'll turn bright red. And the dodge button is X and the parry is the left bumper. And I for the life of me, it took me a minute to like coordinate my hands
Yeah.
to parry versus dodge. And I feel like it's because they're on opposite sides of the controller, versus like Arkham, where it's like the X versus the Y button. You know, you're dodging or you're parrying. Now you can map the buttons, so I haven't done that yet. But I feel like that setup is a little funky, and I've died a few times just trying to remember which one. Wait, which one's which?
And to explain,
that's
it's
been my
like
main.
parry's on like the left bumper, and then dodge is on X if you're on an Xbox controller, or square if you're on PlayStation. And yeah, it is a little weird because like I've run into the same things where I've definitely had to use elixirs a lot to heal because I just take big hits because I'm not a two like the two bumpers I can parry very well, but when the dodge comes up, I'm struggling to like remember to hit that hit that button.
Yeah, I think it's just because they're so far apart. Like you want to do one or the other. You either want to stick to the face buttons or you want to stick to the bumpers. And so just sort of, and you wrap your mind around one, and then all of a sudden you got to do the other. So that's been my big, like, I'm not sure how much I like this issue with the game. But outside of that, it's I don't want to say it's perfectly fine in the sense that like, oh, it's serviceable. I mean, it's keeping me entertained. But since I am just at the second title screen and just about to walk into like the main missions, what I'm really looking forward to is like trying to get back into the stealth scenarios where, okay, I'm tailing this guy, I gotta take this guy out, I can't have any guards see me, I gotta escape the castle or whatever without being seen. Like those are the scenarios that I really enjoy, getting back into Splinter Cell style or Metal Gear for Jeff.
Yeah.
But so far, only having taken the 3 hours to complete the tutorial. It was a long tutorial, boys. I'm enjoying it for what it's worth. I'll keep playing it. This might be my my game that keeps me entertained until Spider-Man comes out in 2 weeks, because as soon as Spider-Man's out, soon as Spider-Man and Super Mario Wonder are out, this is going to be in the side, and that's nothing against Assassin's Creed. This is just a game that we've all been looking forward to, and we know it's a guaranteed we're going to be enjoying the time that we're playing.
Guaranteed game of the year.
I don't know about that, but it'll be a contender for sure. Same with Starfield. I've been trying to get back in and out of that. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, which at this rate I might beat before Jeff. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And various other games that I've been playing too. That's my problem. It's a good problem to have, but I like to put my fingers into various pies. I like to dip my toes into various lakes when it comes to these games. But when you do that, it makes it increasingly difficult to actually finish a particular game.
Yeah.
But something tells me.
And I was gonna say the other thing that bothers me about this, like, so you do the initial 3-hour tutorial, right? And then, or you do the tutorial, but then like I am still I've completed an investigation and I am still like running into shit that is like pop up. Hey, this guy does this does this. So it's like, let's say this is like a 40-hour game or something like that, right? Let's be 45-hour game, whatever the hell it is. You're going to spend like 5 hours getting tutorial stuff. Like, I think if you want to get back to the roots of Assassin's Creed, like they claim to be doing, how about we cut down on some of the bullshit? I don't need 40 vendors. Like, give me 2 or 3. If you want to like spread it out, make like one guy. Like, there is a guy on there that will like they'll take your notoriety level down, and you can pay them whatever. or you can go rip down signs, but you could pay them. Like, all right, I get that guy exists in the game, but like I have to go like the blacksmith, like all the like put this in like a hub world, make like a market where I can go do all this at once. There seems they have this like kind of like spread out, and I'm not a huge fan of that. It just feels it's the Ubisoft, whatever. It's like the just puke on the screen. Like there's just so much stuff happening, and I wish and maybe the way I'll play it is eventually I'll fire up WeMod here and turn a couple things off that I don't want to deal with, and start to like really just barrel through the game. But I think some of that stuff is they have some traditional Ubisoft problems here that I of just how it's the same with Starfield, right? Like there's some things I just don't like about Bethesda games, and if you like it, I'm sure you're gonna love it. Or if you don't, that doesn't bother you. I don't know if it bothers you, Rob, but like when I have a million things on screen, it's kind of like having 100 notifications on your iPhone. Like it gives my anxiety like that trigger of like I just have all this stuff to do and I can't get to any of it, and I'm trying to do all of it at once, and then like is this worth it? And then I'm thinking like am I going down a path that's adding time to this game that I don't need necessarily, it just
Right.
I don't know, it makes me I'm not a huge fan of that in general right now.
It looks like this one is a little bit shorter than the Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla.
Mhm.
15 to 20 hours. If you just stick to
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
main story, if you try to do everything, it's like 40 hours.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can beat it before Spider-Man comes out. But famous last words. I know I've said that before about several different games. Because I tend to be the type of person who wants to look at everything
Yeah.
in a game, and I get very hung up on side quests.
Mhm.
But maybe if I make an effort to only stick to the main story, maybe I can get through this, or maybe I'll just stop playing it and go back to Starfield. We'll see. We'll see. But keep updated. Stick around to the pod for updates on Assassin's Creed Mirage. And like we said, of course, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man when that comes out. The following week, Jeff and I will probably be talking about Super Mario Wonder. They both come out on the same day. We won't have enough time to talk about two separate games, two big games, but we'll get to that, plus everything in between. So thank you for sticking with us towards the end of the podcast. Now, don't turn it off just yet, because I have a couple quick things I need to tell you. First, did you know Vactor has his own YouTube channel? He mentioned it earlier, called the Vactorverse, where he talks anything and everything comic book related. Loki season 2 just came out, and I know you're talking about that. Tell us all about it.
Oh, yeah. Each and every week, there's a new episode of Loki, which is going to be for the next 5 weeks, because there's 6 episodes total. Going to be talking about Loki and anything. I'm going to put this anything comic book, anything Star Wars, everything is up for grabs in the Vactorverse. If you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to want to check it out. We've got shorts, we've got longs, we've got everything in between over at youtube.com/Vactor.
Yeah, so check it out. You got to check it out if you want all the comic book know-how. I said it at the top of the pod, but I'll say it again. You can find all our links. We are everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, obviously, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow our link tree in the show notes. It's linktree/Sandbox Gamers Podcast. That'll get you everywhere. Or just search Sandbox Gamers Podcast on whichever platform, whichever social media outlet you like, except for TikTok. That's under my name, Wonder Rob. So check all that out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, thumbs up, do all the things. And last but not least, GG, everybody. GG.
GG.